atmosphere is very much building here at Ibrox. This kick-off approaches just 5 minutes or so to go. We'll be handing up to our commentary box very, very shortly. But just the final thoughts from Neil and Alan. What will Steven Gerrard be looking for specifically from this run out again with an eye on next week in the first game?
Wee bit of magic dust. I think both Alan and I have mentioned it, the lack of goals. I think he would like to start hitting the back of the net, just sharpening things up in the front end. I think overall he's been pleased. The workout, not really picked up any great injuries. I hope that remains the same for him, because ultimately you're just trying to get peak fitness without any scathing of the squad. So just sharpening up in different areas. I think defensively they've looked quite good, but hit the back of the net, get themselves in that position where they feel that they're just going to ram goals past teams when the season starts. They've got tough opposition to do it against right enough.
Obviously a clean sheet as well, Alan.
Yeah, of course. Defenders always want clean sheets. That's what it's all about. And if you look back to last season, they had such an amazing start off the back of that. But now it's all about fine-tuning, just getting the little bits down, being clinical, as you say, in the final third, and he'll be happy.
Yeah, well, like I say, the atmosphere is building. It's fantastic to see so many fans back here in the stadium, and I think there's going to be quite a spectacle pre-match, like I say, to commemorate and mark the 150th anniversary of Rangers Football Club. So we'll now hand over to our commentary team to talk us through it, because Kevin Thompson is back. Welcome back, KT, and he's alongside Clive Tilsley.
Glasgow Rangers versus Real Madrid. It has quite a ring to it, doesn't it? A distant echo of a glorious past from 1963, but more importantly, maybe a glimpse into the future. The challenge now is to make Rangers versus Real a Champions League fixture sometime soon. Steven Gerrard's team have the chance to open that door by negotiating 2 qualifying rounds next month and/or retaining the Premiership title in the coming 9 months with a near guarantee of automatic Champions League entry in 2022. That is the upward curve that they are on and want to stay on. Real Madrid can maybe count themselves a little fortunate to be in this coming season's Champions League group stages after their part in the European Super League ambush. Officially, Real, Barcelona and Juventus are still committed to that ill-founded idea. Only legal moves have stopped UEFA kicking them out in all probability, but this evening's Real Madrid bring all their sense of history and tradition to a stadium that is steeped in it, and that is the welcome for the two teams. Rangers want to bring Real Madrid back to Ibrox in the autumn, or better still, the spring. Rangers are a week away from beginning their Premiership defence. Real 3 weeks away from their first competition game. Just how much of a dress rehearsal this match is for Livingston here next Saturday will become more apparent during the evening. Kevin Thompson alongside me. Isco and Marcelo at Ibrox this weekend. Stokes and Bartley next weekend.
One extremely another. Delighted to be here, Clive, alongside all these fans. I think it's a hard place to beat when there's fans inside this place, so delighted to be back and looking forward to this game.
Kevin, now the coach of Kelsey Hearts, looking at the game with a slightly different perspective. And from a coach's perspective, okay, results are not as important as maybe they are next week in the pre-season period, but Rangers would love to round off this build-up to the season with a really important victory, yeah?
Victories, of course, are important, Clive, pre-season. I think people get away from the fact that it's pre-season, and listen, you don't want to get anyone hurt, you don't want injuries, but I think you need to be really competitive to get up to speed, and listen, the culture of this club's winning. So the team need to want to win, they need to put the bodies on the line, they need to get up to speed, they need to get tight with people, they need to try and create yards, and what better opposition to do it against than Real Madrid.
18,000 in here this evening, plenty of empty seats still to fill, plenty of volunteers for that. When you've driven into Ibrox for a game with no more than a dozen or so governed residents wandering up and down Edmiston Drive. It's an eerie, empty feeling. Like you shouldn't be here, like you've been led in to watch the rehearsal of a big show. It just doesn't feel right. But now, game by game, week by week, it's different. It's the new natural, and it's long, long overdue. Borna Barisic, who made his return to Rangers colours just yesterday. It looks like Yanis Hadji will start on the left of the midfield three, and Fashion Sakala, who played from the wide yesterday, is going to operate down the centre with Wright from the right and Kent from the left. Kevin?
Yeah, good role for him as well, Clive, for Yanis Hadji. He's going to need to do the bit without the ball, you know, help the midfield three, support Borna Barisic, but at the same time he needs to try and join an attack. He needs to try and feed Ryan Kent. Be interesting to see how he does there in a slightly deeper role.
Real Madrid's Ukrainian goalkeeper, Andriy Lunin, wearing green boots. Wrong. There's three of them, actually, who clearly haven't read the history of this particular football club. Might let Ødegaard off. They might just be turquoise, those. Lunin is 6'4". He is a Ukrainian international. He didn't make the European Championships squads, and he has been the understudy to Thibaut Courtois for the last 2 years. Isco, a familiar figure, losing out to John Lundstrom. On by Ryan. Here's Lundstrom. In towards the corner. It's a real chance too. Ryan Kent has kept it alive. Play back to Barisic. Guided out of harm's way by Chust. And what a moment that was for Fashion Sakala. Odriozola is the right back. One back by Hadji. Kent to Davis. Kent even 10 about Rangers from the start.
Terrific start. You see already Lundstrom, Clive, just how powerful he is and how he gets beyond the play. The front line starting that wee bit higher as well, which allows the team to press into the half.
Just slightly behind him. He had to try to improvise the finish, and he couldn't quite make the contact that he wanted, Sakala. He's got another opportunity here, though. Oh, didn't exactly lack confidence. The flag has gone up. It wouldn't have counted, but a flashing left-footed volley from the Zambian Fashion Sakala.
He started sharp and he looks lively. Just playing on the shoulder, finding space. You can see already, Clive, you know how high the front three are. Sakala, Kent and Wright are pushing high. They know Real Madrid will want to play it. Different approach. Normally they drop off that wee bit and try and push down the sides, and then obviously in Scotland the ball normally gets kicked over your head, but they know Real Madrid will try and play, so the high press is coming.
Real Madrid not being allowed to settle, either by those in light blue out in the middle or those in light blue in the seats, none of which are really occupied. Smuggled forward by Chust, only as far as Helander, given away that time by Davis unusually, and a chance for Lucas Vasquez to break. And a free kick given against Connor Golson. Willie Collum is in charge tonight. It was debatable.
Yeah, I think the first foul was Connor Golson, not John Lundstrom. Just a soft one for Phil Helander, turning the ball over into Steve Davis. He just has to roll it in soft, Clive. Fires it into Steve Davis. You see already Lundstrom, how he gets back. He's going to be a massive player already, Clive. You can just tell, sensing danger, his athleticism, his power. It's going to really help this Rangers midfield.
Nacho, Marcelo. Turned away by Connor Golson. The rumours are becoming stronger that Golson has agreed a new deal with the club in principle. I'm sure that will be confirmed in the next few days as he goes into the final year of his current contract. Rodrigo. Ødegaard. Actually got to him very quickly there, made it difficult for Martin Ødegaard. Nacho being hurried by Scott Wright. Odriozola, who came in from the cold in the last couple of months of last season because of injuries to Dani Carvajal and Lucas Vázquez. It's Spanish international right back. Isco very experienced at a high level, very technically gifted, finding Odriozola. And here's Lucas Vázquez, also a Spanish international. Rodrigo, full Brazilian international. As indeed is Marcelo, the new captain of Real Madrid. He's taken over that mantle with the departure of Sergio Ramos to Paris Saint-Germain.
I think there'll be many players that play for Real Madrid that won't be internationals. Like, there's a wee challenge for you. Find one that maybe played more than 10 games for Real Madrid, not to be an international.
Well, Landa's going to have to hurry there. Barisic with plenty of green Ibrox to run into. The pitch looks immaculate. On by Ken. Barisic. Wright and Sakala in the centre. Can wait there for a corner.
Great energy for Borna Barisic, as we'd expect. Ryan Kent, when he drops deep, when he plays high, he's such a hard one to tie down. But when he's got options running beyond him, I think loving Alfredo Morelos' physicality, Clive, it's a different goal that you need to score, so the team might need to be that wee bit more patient, might need to be a wee bit more intricate to score that goal.
Kent with the corner. Works short with Hadji. And here's Barisic. We had just half an hour yesterday. Barisic, his first football since the European Championships. It's an accurate pass to Sakala. Held up well for Lundstrom. Here comes Tavernier. Scuffed away by Odriozola just beyond Hadji. They got a little lucky there, Real Madrid. Now Ødegaard can counter. Rodrigo is free to his left. Ødegaard might go all alone here. Now Rodrigo. Oh, he stepped it in and Real Madrid take the lead. Caught on the break, Rangers there. Threatened at one end, but Ødegaard was allowed to carry the ball a long way. Rodrigo was crying out for the ball. And the 20-year-old Brazilian just rode his luck a little bit. He got a good bounce of the ball and steered it in skillfully. And Rangers are behind.
Yeah, just the way he moves the ball, Clive, changes Steve Davis's feet and then chops away. Conor Golson coming over and not really doing much. And a beautiful finish. It just shows you at the top end, another good run for John in the middle of the pitch, breaking the line, and before you know it, Tav doesn't pick the right cross, nobody's filling in, everybody going forward and somebody not checking out, and before you know it, 10 seconds later it's in the back of your net.
We are talking about a player who has scored a Champions League hat-trick. He's been linked with Everton in the last few days. He did start 5 of the last 8 league games last season, but he was only a substitute for Real Madrid in their Champions League knockout games behind the likes of Vinicius and Asensio and Eden Hazard in the pecking order. But he's a very gifted player for whom Real Madrid paid a lot of money. Sakala showing his pace and speed is certainly one of his strongest assets.
Great play for Sakala. He's willing to go into channels, Clive. He's a handful. He's willing to go 1v1, get by. You can already tell he's lively. He's going to back himself with speed.
The manager said to me yesterday he can play all along the front line, so he's happy in the wide positions, but happy to lead the line as he is doing this evening.
Yeah, you can see already Ryan Kent's been through the middle and Sakala's come to the side. It gives you good options when you can. I think that's the modern day player now, Clive. They're looking for a player that can play a position and a half rather than just be pigeonholed to the one position.
Taken by Tavernier. And Golson turned off the line. I don't think it was the goalkeeper or Marcelo who stopped it. Here's Kent. And the goalkeeper certainly stopped that with an outstretched right foot. It was sneaking in at the near post. Good response from Rangers. But Connor Goldston in particular just denied.
He's such a threat, the big man at set pieces. Doesn't actually do much either, Clive. He just almost floats in. It's amazing how many times he gets his head on that ball. 3 headers. I think it is a save for the goalkeeper. Thought Marcelo might have handled it, that Connor Goldston was shouting for. But it looked slick in the final third, Clive, just without putting that final touch on it.
Kent was just denied from the angle there by the outstretched foot of the very tall Ukrainian keeper. Turned forward by Davis, but he was fouled by Antonio Blanco, number 27, very highly thought of. Real Madrid already drawing comparisons with Casemiro. He plays in that position. Sorted out by Lundstrom. Barisic being hounded, keeping his composure though. Alander's bound to be a little rusty. Just had 20 minutes during the European finals for Sweden. Remember, he was injured at the end of last season too, Philip Alander. Maybe a race against time for Barisic and Alander to really get up to pace for Livingston next Saturday, particularly with the likes of Bassi and Balogun ahead of them in terms of physical readiness. It's a difficult balance, isn't it, for a manager, particularly in a season with so much summer international football. Davis trying to find Sakala. Turned away by Chus. Tavernier will keep it alive. Kent. Davis. Here comes Barisic. Now Hadji. Sakala. Held it up well. Ryan Kent. Has gone for a goal kick despite the Rangers' appeals. I suppose it's the measure of Rangers' progress that they are losing so many players to international matches, but it becomes a headache for the manager, doesn't it?
I think it's just part and parcel of the big club, Clive. It is a nightmare. I thought it come off Sakala there, but I think it actually just went wide. Ryan Kent shot. But it's one of the ones you want international players, you want to work with the best players, but at the same time when internationals come around and you've got 10, 15, 20 players away, it's a headache for a manager, but it's just one that you need to adapt and you need to embrace, I suppose.
Carlo Ancelotti has had 10, 20 players away. Lundstrom. Now Hadji. Blocked by Marcelo. Now how much he knew about it. Hadji didn't quite connect in the way they would have wanted. Tavernier. Flag is up. I said it yesterday. You at home and these players have not had a chance to celebrate together yet, not had the chance to show each other what you really think of each other. You know, for Lundstrom and Wright and Sakala, they've never known Ibrox fall, not in a light blue shirt anyway. Bassi, Balogun, Simpson, they've still got the sound of a capacity Ibrox to come, and it will make such a difference. Real Madrid themselves are hoping to return to the Bernabeu in September after a season of reconstruction, famous stadium. Vasquez's cross, well defended there by Hadji. You hear it time and time again, coaches shouting, block the cross, block the cross. Hadji certainly got a block on that.
Shouted that a few times at Arbroath yesterday, Clive.
Marcelo that he just left in his wake. The Marcelo.
Just looks like a powerhouse, Clive. He's going to be really effective for this midfield. It looks like he can get beyond opposition midfield and he can also get back to help the team.
Won 4 Champions Leagues, have you? Yeah, well, I'm John Lundstrom. Bye. Barisic spotted Hadji ghosting into space. Well found. And now Kent has a little bit of space. Good fluidity about Rangers coming forward. Tavernier. It's a really good cross. Sakala attacked it, but it was particularly well defended by Victor Chust.
Real slick play. Sakala, he's lively, Clive. Good ball for James Tavernier. He's worked the ball out really well. Just that physical presence in the box. Somebody coming over the top.
Trying to pick a pass, but it's too strong for Odriozola. Rangers back on the attack.
Getting a lot of joy off that high press, Clive, when they do go. Putting Real Madrid, talking about Real Madrid under real pressure. It's different in Scotland though. The teams just kick it over the top of you.
It's a good feint from Hadji to lose Lucas Vazquez, but he maybe took a stride or two too many before unleashing the shot. Isco, Ødegaard. Referee saw nothing onto Ward, and Wright escapes. It's Scott Wright. It's Fashion Sakala. He's made the chance for himself. Ooh, and it was just deflected wide. Corner kick. Great burst from Scott Wright.
Yeah, just how quick he travels over the ground. Scott Wright, and then he plays the right pass. Thought he was going to go with his left. Just before you know it, white jersey's back around him. Sakala, but he looks lively. He's going to get chances. He's going to score goals. Let's hope we can keep this enthusiasm up. The work rate, he's going to need it.
Seems a well-balanced player, two-footed player. Barisic towards Goldson, over Goldson. Kent. Defended by Lucas Vazquez.
Vazquez reading Ryan Kent like a book there. We drop with the shoulder. On the same page.
Smart player, Lucas Vazquez. He just signed a new contract. He played much of last season as a right back and acquitted himself very, very well for Real Madrid. Kent. Halted by Marcelo. Davies checking Rodrigo, but he keeps possession. Ødegaard, now Isco. Odriozola. Lucas Vazquez. You can see where he wanted it, but I think it was still in his power to control the ball. Alan McGregor said during the summer he couldn't possibly retire before playing in front of fans again at Ibrox. Well, he certainly earned the new contract that he signed after an outstanding season. And now the fans are in to appreciate him. Rodrigo. Marcelo. Halted by Tavernier. That's good work again by Hadji. His shirt tugged by Blanco, but advantage played. Lundstrom. Turn pass wasn't the best from Wright.
Yeah, he's just desperate to open his legs up there. Lundstrom. Sloppy one for Scott Wright. actually played in their half though, Clive. You know, the majority of the game, even though 1-0 down, the chances, majority of play has been in their half. It's just a hard thing to do, to have that high press and to keep on going and going and going. Eventually you need to have a wee breather, just be comfortable to sit in the shape and let them have it.
Yanis Hadji's looked particularly hungry without the ball. Is he a player for the midfield line of three or for the front line of three, in your opinion?
I think he'll play in the front line, Clive, but I do think it's almost sometimes like a centre-back playing like CDM sometimes. It allows you that relationship with your midfielders to see the dirty work that they need to do in the positions, and I just think it lets you see a different side of the game. So there's no doubt Yanis Hadji on the ball is a terrific football player, but without it, he needs to learn to do the dirty work. So certainly give him a good insight into that, playing that line deeper.
He might have an opportunity in the early weeks of the season with Aribo and Roof on the casualty list at the moment. And there's Hadji's flick into the path of Kent. And now Sakala. Lundstrom just behind Tavernier. Cross was scuffed a little bit, but it's found a way through. Barisic! Well, we know he's capable of far better than that.
Yeah, he's got one day left foot. Borna Barisic just want him to show a wee bit of composure, take a touch. Even felt Taff could he got out his feet a bit better, just desperate to put it in when the ball was rolling away from him a bit.
Blanco showing well. Odriozola. Lucas Vasquez. By Blanco, Isco. Rodrigo. Marcelo. Wilson trying to pick a pass, but it was a rather dangerous one right, couldn't control it. Here's Marcelo, Ødegaard. Goldson doing enough. Hadji finding Ken. An obvious foul there by Victor Chust.
Yeah, great touch for Ryan Kent. It's a good foul, to be fair, even in a pre-season friendly. Just his awareness what's round about him, Ryan Kent. He drops his shoulder. Actually a scruffy pass for Yanis Hadji, a wee bit bobbly. Great first touch.
Gregor straight to Marcelo. .33 years of age now, Marcelo. Let's go to Rodrigo. Jovic. Still provide that switch, Marcelo. Ødegaard rolled into Lucas Vasquez and Hollander went with him.
It's the hardest one for Rangers, Clive. The big switch, especially against the good teams, because they can get down the side of you quite quickly.
Corner will be taken by Martin Ødegaard, who played the second half of last season on loan with Arsenal. It looks like he's going to be given a chance to establish himself in Real Madrid colours. Punched away by McGregor. Ødegaard again. And a little bit of concern for a heavy landing for Borna Barisic, and Willie Collum sensibly stopping play. In fact, it's Scott Wright who's down. Mr. Beale having his to Pennyworth.
He's a wizard, Clive. Absolute wizard.
We're going to have a drinks break here, which is sensible in the circumstances. The 150th anniversary celebrations will no doubt come to a head next February, March time. The four boys got their dreams together in the March of 1872, so there'll be a lot of history revisited in the coming months. The 1963 game against Real Madrid here was contested almost by a boys' team. It was a very young Rangers side that lost to a late goal by Ferenc Puskas, who was the Lionel Messi of his day. That Real team were multi-European champions. Usher Grandpa about Di Stefano, Hento, Puskas, they all played that night, but ask him about Henderson, Gregg and Baxter too. They all learned that night. There was 80,000 in here. Nearly old enough to remember that era. Nearly. But names like Puskas and Di Stefano are passed down through the generations. You'll be aware of them, Kevin, yeah?
Aware, but certainly before my time, Clive.
Careful. But that's the history that Rangers are trying to relive after a difficult decade for you all. It's happening again. And Real Madrid are in Govan. Back in Govan.
We got Barcelona, Champions League, Clive, when I was here. Special. I always felt we might get Real Madrid. Never quite happened. Special club.
This shadow Real Madrid team that is playing tonight has between them 10 Champions League winners' medals. They're players who actually played in a winning Champions League final performance. 4 for Marcelo, 4 for Isco, 1 for Lucas Vazquez and 1 for Nacho.
4 for Isco?
4 for Isco, yeah. He was twice chosen from the start by Zinedine Zidane. His future seems to have been under review for the last 2 or 3 years. He was a fringe player much of last season. Been linked quite strongly with Arsenal and Tottenham at times in the last 12 months. He's a one-off Isco. He's a bit of a throwback, really. He's such a gifted dribbler.
Just genuinely would have had a bet that Marcelo would have had more.
Marcelo was brought in to replace Roberto Carlos. There's a job for you. Odriozola's offside here. He finished up winning more Champions League winners' medals than his great predecessor.
That was a wall you'd need to be brave to get in when Roberto Carlos was kicking about, Clive.
Yeah.
That or George Albert's. I don't know what would be worse.
We brought you in to replace Roberto Carlos. Oh, okay. All right. I'll do my best. Tavernier. Towards right. There is Nacho. Marcelo claiming handball, but Scott Wright's not listening. He's running at Nacho and running past him. Wright's cut back. Sakala off the ball from Kent. So close. And there's a chance that Ryan Kent probably should have taken, but a chance that he came so close to taking. Great move again. Scott Wright playing with real zest.
Yeah, they're a handful, the front three, Clive. When all of them run, they can all travel with the ball. Scott Wright this time, he'll not want to see it back. Ryan Kent will freely applauded some of the goals he scored, but he'll just direct. Sakala, again, being a menace. And Ryan Kent, he's got to score, Clive. Sakala, just being a nuisance, getting across people. Actually scuffs it a wee bit. He's got to score, Ryan.
It's come off his ankle, hasn't it? It was sort of bobbling along a little bit. I'm trying for you, Ryan, here.
I think it might be that beard, Clive. It's people with beards don't score goals.
Could probably disprove that, but what about him? I mean, he's interesting because 11 of his 13 appearances last season were from the bench. I think there was a time in the last month, 6 weeks of the season, when a lot of Rangers fans were hoping to see him get more starts, but Rangers have taken their time with Scott Wright. Free kick here in a promising position.
Yeah, it looks a good one. We spoke about it last year. He's a profile of what the management like players that they can develop and make better, and Scott Wright falls into that. He can travel with the ball. Obviously less space in Scotland when teams are packed defences. Against a team like Real Madrid, when there's a wee bit more space, you can see his athleticism. He's a ball carrier, so fingers crossed he can keep on kicking on and become a real good player for the club.
He's played at least a half in all 4 games so far. Played over an hour yesterday, but in the starting 11 again today. Now, right or left foot. Tavernier, Barisic and Hadji are the three candidates. Tavernier's just been crossed off that list. The angle should suit a right footer. Hadji is, I'm never quite sure whether he's right or left footed really.
Just so natural both ways. Hadji. It looks like he's favouring this one.
Kenton Lundstrom, the statutory 1 yard from the wall. It's Yanis Hadji, and it forces a save from Lunin. Just needed maybe to get a little higher.
Lunin had it covered, Clive. I think he knows he's going to try and get up and down, and he certainly does, Yanis Hadji, but Lunin's seen it coming, I think. He's already edging towards that way.
It's at a nice height by the time it came into the goalkeeper's grasp. Barisic takes this time. Is right. Space here for Davis to pick across, and Golson is there, and so too is the keeper Lunin. Free kick given.
Yeah, when you'd expect Conor Golson to go for. Bit floaty for Steve Davis, look to the back post, but good when Conor Golson's breathing down your throat. Does really well, Lunin, though. Like, he actually gets a hold of it, he gets a real good bump, he spills it a wee bit, but still manages to get a hold of it.
Barisic has won it back in a high position again. Blanco under pressure. Just. Composure from Lunin. Marcelo. Rodrigo. About Rangers now. Tavernier, Lundstrom. So much of Rangers' approach play has been impressive.
It'll look fit. Slick. Goals will come, Clive, got no doubt about that.
Right, just found Hadji. And here comes Kent! Good save there. Had to get down a long way, and I'm not sure what kind of a view of it Andre Lunin had, but he beat it away. Here's Yanis Hadji. Clever. Lundstrom! Goalkeeper did very well again. Anxious defending from Real Madrid. Growing pressure from Rangers. A pretty savage challenge by Marcelo, which has conceded a free kick. There's a yellow card actually being shown to Isco for an earlier infringement, and Rangers have another shot at goal here. Scott Wright being helped to his feet.
It's a brilliant save, Clive. Actually that excited that I forgot almost what happened. The chances, the energy, just that final touch. So many opportunities. See the manager on the sideline, kept on putting his hands in his head. He's desperate for the ball to go in. The chances and the energy that we're creating, Clive, has been superb, the tempo that the team's played at.
Lundstrom rattled the crossbar with his left foot yesterday. I mean, he is a naturally right-footed player, and that was a decent strike with the other foot again there.
He's just finding that nice position, Clive. He's almost not playing too high, too low. He's just perfect balance for Steve Davis, just to feed if he needs him. Also gives him the energy to get back if he needs him when the ball turns over. I always felt like Ryan Jackie potentially drop deep and potentially do the same job, but Lundstrom looks as though he wants to go and run, he wants to go and support, so another different dynamic for the manager to use.
Ten minutes to go to half-time. Borna Barisic couldn't lift it over the wall. Golson, Tavernier. Lunin managed to fend it away. He's done pretty well so far, the Ukrainian keeper. Davis. Kent. Just couldn't quite get past Odriozola, who had Lucas Vazquez from company, and catches foul. The latter, and winning it back.
He's a couple of smart saves, Lunan. Clive, he's looked the part, even though he's got green on.
He's not been a regular for anybody, really. Certainly in top-flight football for 3 years. He had 20 games on loan in the second division last year. He is only 22, Andrei Lunin. But his one senior appearance for Real Madrid was in a cup exit to a third-tier club last January. Infamous night, game went to extra time, and against 10 men, Real Madrid went out of the Copa del Rey in the last 32, and Lunin was the goalkeeper.
It's a commentator's curse, that, isn't it? We're just talking him up and then he just shanks the ball. It's amazing, isn't it?
Odriozola. Lucas Vazquez. Ødegaard. Marcelo. Nacho. Trusting McGregor, why wouldn't you? Oh, mistake there by Chuston. Sakala almost escaped, he was fouled, but the advantage is played. To Tavernier. Steven Gerrard will be reasonably happy with the performance so far, despite the scoreline.
Yeah, I just think the chances he'll be, the half-time team talk will be to keep going, and the final touches has to be putting the ball in the back of the net. I think the pressure, the slickness, Sakala, his movement, his liveliness. Scott Wright travelling with the ball, Yanis Hadji playing back line. There's been loads of positives. John in the middle of the pitch looks a powerhouse. And really, apart from the goal, limited them to real limited chances.
It's a foul by Barisic. I suppose in fairness to Real Madrid, we should run through the absentees. Karim Benzema tested positive last week. Carvajal and Mendy are still recovering from injuries. They've got 4 on Olympic duty, including Asensio and Ceballos, and another dozen just back in training after summer international duty. Courtois, Hazard, Modric, Kroos, Casemiro, Vinicius, Valverde, Militao, Bale, Varane for now, and David Alaba, who's the only major signing so far since the end of last season, just joined in the training.
After Benzema scored a hat-trick against us, Clive, he's certainly not welcome back.
Well, certainly not with a positive test, anyway. Given away by Odriozola. Rangers were surprised to get that. Marcelo. Let's go. Ødegaard. He's looking for Rodrigo. Good cover from Tavernier. Sharp pass from Davis. Good control from right. And given away to Jovic. And here's Rodrigo. Golson did just about enough. Helped out by Hollander. It's a good idea from Hadji, just couldn't quite direct it on, but Rangers still have the ball. Kent, away from just beautifully. Ryan Kent, fabulous run. Fed it to Sakala. just off balance when he crossed it. Surprised Kent didn't go on, having hurdled a couple of challenges. That's a foul by Sakala.
It's a sensational play. Clive just gets you excited when he picks up the ball, Ryan Kent. But we were calling for him, we just wanted to shoot himself. I'm not saying he passed the buck, he lend the ball, but beautiful play. Just the power and the pace that he's got to travel with the ball, Ryan Kent. Just want him to be a wee bit more selfish. He's got the quality to go himself when it opens up.
Did so well to keep going there after that foul, really, by Antonio Blanco, but it's not a surprise that he offloaded. As he looked back at the numbers of last season, only Connor Golson made more appearances for Rangers last season than Ryan Kent. 13 goals, 15 assists. Nacho. Lucas Vasquez. Alvaro Odriozola. Blanco. Marcelo. Rodrigo. That was an impudent pass and he didn't quite connect with it in the way he meant to. Now Sakala, he has to go it alone. Ooh, and he was just taken out by Nacho Fernandez. Yellow card for the Spanish international because Sakala was gone.
Oh, I was so looking forward to seeing how quick he was there. Clive, loads of space. Sakala, just wanted to see him open his legs up. He was going for it. He was going to trust himself. Happy to go the long route. You can see Nacho there, experience. He ain't going to let him run. Clinical one, really, but a clever one all the time.
Been around the block a few times, Nacho Fernandez, 20 years with Real Madrid, 31 now. Barisic towards Sakala, well won by Chust, not very well cleared by Lucas Vasquez. Still 6 days to go, but there's been a constant pitch intensity about Rangers this evening. They look ready for the season.
Yeah, they look fit, don't they? I always think you can tell the condition of the boys. There's just the slickness, just how they look in their strips, Clive. They look fit. You know, Jordan Wilson, he's big on the fitness. The manager's massive on it, so no doubt it's always first priority to get them fit, make sure they can run, make sure they can cover the ground. And then your quality comes through.
Isco caught in possession. Good work by Lundstrom again. With and without the ball making an impact, John Lundstrom. Wasn't the worst of passes, actually.
Just overhit for a big foul. The right idea, Clive, just a wee bit softer for Ryan Kent down the side. Had the same one in the first half, just a wee delicate one foul, and it's Steve Davis turned the ball over.
I think we will be saying goodbye to maybe 4 or 5, maybe 6 Rangers players at the break. I think this is as much football as Steven Gerrard wants to give them at this stage in the build-up. Alanda down to Ken. Hadji just couldn't quite gather it in, but Davis has found Ken. Came last off Barisic. match. He's not been penalised. Rangers throw. 2 added minutes. Barisic did well to keep that in for Hadji. Odegaard got back to him. One back in turn by Barisic. There's no time for any Real Madrid player on the ball. Isco. The rest of this Real Madrid squad really is short on experience. The other 6 outfield players are all 20, 21 years of age. Not much to freshen it up with for Carlo Ancelotti in terms of experienced players anyway. Tavernier. Been just about everything that the Rangers fans lucky enough to get a ticket to be inside Ibrox tonight and hope for. Apart from the scoreline, Rodrigo on the counter-attack punished a careless moment from Rangers. There have been precious few of those. They've created chances. There's an argument for saying the Real Madrid goalkeeper Andriy Lunin has been the half's outstanding individual performer. Everything but the scoreline so far for Rangers. Rangers 0, Real Madrid